Hey everyone, welcome back to Daily Devotions. Pastor Steve here, walking with you in God's Word. We're in Exodus chapter 26, and we are in the detail of the tabernacle, the place that God is going to design to be able to actually shower his people, overwhelm his people, come close to his people with his presence. And he's going to do it in a particular way, as we talked about last video, to be able to actually be surrounded by detail, be surrounded by very pointed focus. We get to see that farther along in the New Testament as he tabernacled with his people through the incarnation of Christ. But here in Exodus chapter 26, we get the detail and the focus of what is going to be around his presence. He's going to descend upon the ark, the cover of the Ark of the Covenant, as we got to see there, this box made of acacia wood and gold. There's going to be proper ways to be able to approach his presence, and that being through seeing the bread of the presence, seeing certain altars, also the lampstand, and that's where we'll get into today, which is chapter 26, of speaking to the tabernacle itself. Its outward shape, because it is a nomadic temple, a nomadic tabernacle. And I think that's really important for us to encounter. Sometimes we just maybe think or picture God just in this one space. Especially in the Old Testament, he's going to descend on the Ark of the Covenant. But here's the reality towards it being a nomadic. It breaks down and it goes with the people. God is a nomadic God with his people. He is moving with them. He's not in just this space that people go to. He's not just in this space that people would come and gather. Although that's kind of what we get to see when the temple system is put into place. And sometimes we even fail to see this we see this in a wrong way of coming to church, coming to the sanctuary to be where God is. God is with us. He is a moving God, leading us, guiding us. But yes, as we come together, as we gather together, he comes into our place. He comes into our space. He comes in through the true body and true blood of Christ in our sacraments, in the simple water but powerful word in his name, being overwhelming presence for us together in a sanctuary, into a space. But please don't hear me in any wrong way. God is not contained by space. He created it. And so as we get to see in Exodus chapter 26, we get to see a movable tabernacle, a nomadic tabernacle, because God is moving with his people as they go forth, just as he is for you and me. He moves with us. He doesn't stay behind. He doesn't wait for us to come to him, but rather he is moving ahead of us. He is actually bidding us to follow him in his ways and his will. And so, as we get to see in Exodus 26, a God that is with his people in a particular designed and detailed way, yet the bigger overarching aspect of it is he is a God that moves with us. Chapter 26, verse 1 says, "Make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of finely twisted linen and blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, with cherubim worked into them by a skilled craftsman. All the curtains are to be the same size, 28 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. Join 5 of the curtains together and do the same with the other 5. Make loops of the blue material along the edge of the end curtain in one set, and do the same with the end curtain in the other set. Make 50 loops on one curtain and 50 loops on the end curtain of the other set, with the loops opposite each other. Then 50 gold clasps, and use them to fasten the curtains together so that the tabernacle is a unit." All right, so it's just going to be a rectangular unit, outside boundaries. "Make curtains of goat hair for the tent over the tabernacle, 11 together. All 11 curtains are to be the same size, 30 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. Join 5 of the curtains together into one set and the other 6 into another set. Fold the 6th curtain double at the front of the tent. Make 50 loops along the edge of the end of curtain in one set, and also along the edge of the end curtain in the other set. Then make 50 bronze clasps and put them in the loops to fasten the tent together as a unit. As for the additional length of the tent curtains, the half curtain that is left over is to hang down at the rear of the tabernacle. The tent curtains will be a cubit longer on both sides. What is left will hang over the sides of the tabernacle so as to cover it. Make for the tent a covering of ram skins dyed red, and over that a covering of hides of sea cows. Make upright frames of acacia wood for the tabernacle. Each frame is to be 10 cubits long and a cubit and a half wide, with 2 projections set parallel to each other. Make all the frames of the tabernacle in this way. Make 20 frames for the south side of the tabernacle, and make 40 silver bases to go under them, 2 bases for each frame, one under each projection. For the other side, the north side of the tabernacle, make 20 frames and 40 silver bases, 2 under each frame. Make 6 frames for the far end, and that is the west end of the tabernacle, and make 2 frames for the corners at the far end. At these 2 corners, they must be double from the bottom all the way to the top, and fitted into a single ring. Both shall be like that. So there will be 8 frames and 16 silver bases, 2 under each frame. Also, make crossbars of acacia wood, 5 for the frames on one side of the tabernacle, 5 for those on the other side, and 5 for the frames on the west, at the far end of the tabernacle. The center crossbar is to extend from end to end at the middle of the frames. Overlay the frames with gold and make gold rings to hold the crossbars. Also overlay the crossbars with gold. Set up the tabernacle according to the plan shown you on the mountain. Make a curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and finely twisted linen with cherubim worked into it by a skilled craftsman. Hang it with gold hooks on the 4 posts of acacia wood overlaid with gold and standing on 4 silver bases. Hang the curtain from the clasps and place the ark of the testimony behind the curtain. The curtain will separate the holy place, where the lampstand and the table of presence is. Will separate the holy place from the most holy place. Put the atonement cover on the ark of the testimony in the most holy place. Place the table outside the curtain on the north side of the tabernacle, and put the lampstand opposite on the south side. For the entrance to the tent, make a curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and finely twisted linen, the work of an embroiderer. Make gold hooks for this curtain and 5 posts of acacia wood overlaid with gold, and cast 5 bronze bases for them. A setup of a tent, a tabernacle for the Lord's presence to be with his people. But as you see, it's pretty ornate of being able to say a craftsman's going to be doing it. We're having silver and bronze bases. We have hooks of gold inside and bronze on the outside. Very detailed and very beautiful. Out of reverence, but also out of collection of the people. This is how God has ordained and designed his people to come together with craftsmen, creatures being able to use their hides and their hair to be able to bring about worship, to bring about the presence of God with his people. How beautiful it is to think of the boundaries and how ornate they are, even the detail of the stands and the bases. God deserves our best. God deserves our best. He's collecting from the people the best for his presence with them, but also this tabernacle is made in a way that's going to be durable, that's going to be movable, because it's going to go with them throughout these next 40 years of wandering. Think about that, the setup and the takedown over 40 years of God's presence in that tabernacle with his people. Set up, take down, movable, because our God moves with us. To be able to descend his presence on every place, every space, every circumstance that we're in. And to that, I believe we can say, thanks be to God. Have a blessed day.